Weird that, innit? I've not even been and said hello to Alex yet. I am filming from Matlock today. We are doing a recce of Bank Road Nationals. We both cycled it loads, but it's nice to have another go on the kit you want to ride. And then we're going to do a little ride together. I'm already 10 minutes late, so I am not going to waste any time filming more of an intro. I'll just get on road footage. Welcome to my no-nonsense Nationals recon video. I'm not going to give you any 5 tips to getting your best performance up Bank Road. I'm not going to sell it particularly. This is for people who want to prep, you want to see what Bank Road is like, and just nice time with Alex as well. I won't show the ride as a ride video in this case, but hopefully I will make one because we just had a great day. So this is Bank Road. It comes straight out of Matlock from this roundabout, and as you can see, it's very steep at first, and there's, for Nationals only, there's a nice levelling off around the top for another 30 seconds or so. So the start line is just there on the left. It's near that bus stop. I don't know exactly where they'll set it up, but between the road and the bus stop. And yeah, you head straight up steep. Now, I've just set a gradient because this is not a full gas effort. I've set a gradient and a course. I actually think the gradient's probably 8 to 10% straight away, but you do get as much of a gentle roll in as you can on bank straight away. And then it gets steep, I would say. By this church, you're going pretty steep, and it doesn't let off until the top now. I think maybe the left isn't a great representation of the gradient, but if you look at the houses on the right and how pitched like their entries are for the doors and stuff, you get a feel for how steep this road is. And by the way, in this video I'm going to give you a full climb with only the rear view as well, so you can pick out any different landmarks that may help you. There's this car park on the left, and for me it's quite important that I'm not feeling particularly fatigued by that car park. I know that's not a helpful thing because you either will be or you won't be, and by the time you get there it's too late to do anything about it, but I would try and be feeling well within myself by there. You get to this crossroads and everyone around here will be cheering, screaming in your face. This will be the place to be at Nationals. And both Alex and I agreed that having something left in the tank to actually, almost put the afterburners on here would be really beneficial for our particular pacing strategy, the way we wanted to go about it. It gets steeper after the crossroads. Keep that in mind. Like, the worst bit of this is the last bit before the right-hand bend. So, for those of you who like to modulate your power, I would recommend having an extra kick there. I would say, although Bank Road varies in gradient a little bit, and especially with this right-hander that's quite shallow, you can mess about with, I'll put more power here, less power there. But to be honest, it's so consistent that I think a flat pacing strategy would be absolutely fine. If you know what power you can do for 3 minutes, you could just pace it to that, and I don't think you'd be losing really any time at all. So that may be the easiest way to do it. Just be aware that it gets up to, well, my Garmin said 20%. I'm not sure if it's really 20%, but it's consistently around 15%. And then finally, this last bit here is the only part below 10%. So if you like to go fast, which, it's a race, speed is key, then maybe this is the place for a big kick and a fast finish. For me, it'll be the hanging on for dear life and trying not to lose too much speed in reality. I know I sort of like jokingly put myself down, but that is sincerely where it'll be. And then on the left, there's a lamppost just before this little triangular park, and that'll be the finish line. So that was a little bit of a rush through. We did a nice little loop to take us back down to the bottom, which is the way you'll have to go back down on Nationals. I've sped that up ×4, and then I'll do the whole climb again at a gentle pace with a rear view. You may have noticed, by the way, on that climb, I also did it at ×2 speed. I'm not trying to claim I climbed bank that quickly and that chill. In terms of my thoughts on having Nationals here, it'd be easy for me to be negative because it doesn't suit me, and I just don't like the idea of coming out to do 3 minutes of riding my bike. But for what Nationals is about, the atmosphere and the spectators and the spectacle of the day, it's hard to imagine that there's a better climb than Bank Road, in my opinion. It's in the middle of a town. It is so straight and steep that you can see all the way down to the bottom, and the pavement will just be lined with spectators bottom to top. Okay, so round 2, but this time with a rear view. As I say, part of why I've done this is because I know some people may like to view a landmark or go, oh, I want to see what it's going to look like when I'm here and there to get an idea for pacing if you can't come and ride it yourself a lot. But also I've done it just because the rear view of Bank Road is really spectacular, actually. I really do think it's worth showing off in its own right. I've probably done it on this channel before, but hey, let's do it in this format too. And by the way, isn't Alex's bike and kit combo so flash? Absolutely great. I love a bit of colour in some kit. So yeah, we're coming up again. To be honest, I don't think there's much more I can tell you. Most of the hill climbers who watch my channel are better and more experienced than me anyway, so I'm just going to say some other stuff as you watch it, and if you're watching this purely as a recce, you can mute me, or you can hear my tips that I gave at the beginning. What I will say is, both Alex and I, we did this twice, and then we gave it a full gas effort. Now, I know generally the big hitters before Nationals don't want to show their cards too early by doing a full gas effort on the route of Nationals. We're just so confident in our ability that we decided it's not going to make any difference. People know how fast we are. What are they going to do about it? Joking aside, I've made myself laugh there. We are realistic about our own chances at Nationals, and we wanted to do efforts. We did them separate, and it was really nice. Well, it was a nice day anyway, because we're not the sort of people that get all competitive and testosterone-y racing each other, but we wanted to see how we would do. So I'll show you that full gas effort as well, so you get a feel for the realistic timings for someone doing... Well, Alex and I both wanted to do 450 watts up here, which for me is just over 6.5 watts a kilo. I don't know how much Alex weighs, but I guess we were similar in time, probably not too dissimilar system weights. So we're just coming up here, up the final steep bit again, and because you lose that view all the way back down, it can kind of look less steep, but I assure you it's not. I've walked up here, and it is properly rough. We almost ground to a halt. And the open hill climb, which will be happening the week before, I'd recommend anyone go, that ends here. Which is great. That's a better length, in my opinion. Having this final bit, it's just extra length where you don't need it. It's pretty hard, but it adds something, I think, to maybe add another element of needing speed or whatever. As you can see, me and Alex were chatting away, but I've just muted all of that because you can't really tell, so you have to hear me drone on over it instead. We're just coming up now to the finish once again. It looks flat, but it is deceptive. It is still pretty hilly. You still need to be doing decent power here. We're on the beautiful Bank Road. Alex and I are taking turns at doing efforts up here, just to see how the power feels. Alex is flying. Looking good, mate, doing well. Last horrid steep bit now. I'm not following him up because we had an agreement that there's no ego in these efforts. We're just each getting a feel for it, so we're not racing each other. We're not proving anything. But God, it's hard around here. There we go, out the saddle, final kick. Okay, full gas effort time now. As I say, this is in normal speed, and it's just for people to get a feel for how actually fast each of these segments gets ticked off. My metrics are very slightly out, so that's unfortunate. I feel like it looks steeper now that I know that I'm doing 450 watts to move at this pace. This driveway on the left I always think is a landmark, but it's not. I've barely got going. I I always confuse it with the entrance to the car park. I gave up any illusion of like staying in the saddle versus climbing out of the saddle. It's such a short effort, realistically. I think 3 minutes standing is absolutely fine. I keep saying 3 minutes, but I'd be happy with 3 minutes 30 personally. I will never know what I would have done on this day, because at the top there was a completely static car in front of me that I couldn't get past. So I've spliced that out of this video so that you can see it all at race pace, but basically I had to turn around halfway through and then do the last bit as a second effort. So I'm saying that completely transparently. I didn't do a good time. I'm not trying to claim I did a good time, but I did average 450 watts for the length of the course. Just had a break in there, annoyingly. I don't know if I averaged 450. So you can see that I am out the saddle. You can tell that by how much my handlebars are swaying, and I really did just stomp pretty steadily. I'm in my 3425 doing 50 RPM at this point. So if you're wondering about gearing, for a frame of reference, this really steep bit, this is the speed, the power I'm doing, and that's my cadence. It's pretty low. I don't mind it for just a little bit, and I think having a 25 on the back is okay for such a short effort, but I would be looking at a 28 or a 30, and obviously go one by. This is such a steep climb. That's all I would do. Don't know why I've told anyone that. You know, the video is all you need, I think, if you're an experienced hill climber, to get a feel for it. So you'll have just seen my not at all smooth splicing of two videos together, but I did keep the pace up. Just to give you a feel for how fast you can go, I'm doing 450 watts still. That's over 6.5 watts a kilo, and I'm only doing 21 kilometers an hour. This bit isn't flat. Don't think it is. It's just flatter than the rest. So yeah, that's my effort. I hope this video is of use. I haven't made it at all glamorous, and I hope that's okay. Bank road is cool. Not my sort of cool, but it is cool. Right, so how did you find it?
Hard, very hard. I did like 2 minutes, 450.
Yeah.
And I was coming past you, blew up. So yeah.
You still looked fast as you blew up, genuinely. Like, you looked quite composed.
I think it's hard. I think you need to save something for the bit where I blew up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a tough one. Good to have done it though, but
yeah,
I don't know how much it's going to help.
I did the same as you. I managed to stomp a bit. I think I was still doing like 420, 430 for much of that steep bit, but I got my gearing wrong. Is yours tram red 10? Is it 11? 11. Can you change on the load at all?
No.
Okay, me neither.
No, that's something I'm going to have to consider. Yeah.
I think I entered the steep bit in just one too hard a gear, and then you just committed to it, or slowing down.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get the right gear.
Yeah. And then as I came around that corner there was a car stopped in front of me giving way, so I had to stop. So, I mean, it's a great excuse, and it made me stop, and I waited, I went back, because I wanted to do it at race pace to see. Yeah. So, that's my excuse for why you're faster.